All right, what's up, everybody? This is Terminator Juice, and we're back for another Juices Loose podcast. Ms. T is going to be a little late. He's going to jump in when he can. So let's just get right in because there's a lot of shit to talk about. We had the Nindies at night. We had PAX. Mario+Rabbids came out, and then we had more news about NBA 2K18 on the Switch. So I thought we could just start there just because um, it's not even for people that aren't getting the game. It's still, to me, it's an interesting situation how it's all kind of all the info has come out lately. And so let's just jump in first. People got excited. I think even last week on the podcast, we were talking about how they were saying we're using the same engine. We're glad we did, and it's looking good. Animation's all the same, 100% content. Blah blah blah. Everything was sounding good. People getting excited, and then was it a day later, 2 days later? They're like, oh yeah, it's only, or maybe it was the next day. It's like 30 frames per second, and we're like, and then it's like, oh yeah, for the physical, it's coming out, a month later, and you're still gonna have to download stuff. So a lot of things happen in a short period of time, and to me, it's like I said, even if you're not getting the game, I still think it's interesting, and I want to get Terrell and Retrodust's take on it as people that weren't planning on buying the game. So Terrell, what do you think of just how everything's come out? And then also the fact that we kind of gave EA shit about their FIFA 18, but that's coming out day and date. That's 1080p, 60 frames per second. So I guess what are your thoughts on how NBA is handling it, the news we found out, and then what do you think is going to be kind of the comparisons between those two games?
Okay. Well, first thing is first, I was curious because I thought I saw this, but I wanted to see if you guys had heard it too. I heard that there will still be a box out for NBA 2K18 for the Switch on September 15th, but it'll literally just have the digital code in it.
Right? Seriously?
I haven't heard that.
That's what I heard, but maybe I was wrong. I was just curious if anyone else had heard that.
It could be possible. I've seen that a lot here in France already. They do have physical release of Nintendo games, also on 3DS, and they just toss a code in there, so it could happen.
Yeah, see that? Okay, see, that's it. May have been in Europe that I saw that, but I thought I had saw that somewhere, which I guess would only be good in the sense of because I thought that was what the reference to the whole 25 gigs and the whole required SD card thing was. It's like an internet connection because it was like, okay, here's the code. Well, you obviously need an internet connection in order to download the code for the game digitally, and maybe you just wanted the box, but I'm not sure. But just to give my general thoughts on how FIFA's doing it compared to how NBA 2K18, I've seen footage of both games, and I will say NBA 2K18 looks pretty fucking close graphically to the PS4 version. I'm actually very surprised how well that game looks.
Yeah.
I'm glad Nintendo's pushing it because they're I think if anyone's seen pictures, they've been giving them to like sports teams. Like I think at PAX, they're all like in a barbershop playing the game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still pushing it. The 30 frames is a little concerning because that's honestly that's to me that's the most offensive. Like the downloading shouldn't be too offensive because if you've been playing at all during this generation, you're kind of used to downloading games anyway. Yeah, it kind of sucks on the Switch specifically because of its handheld nature, and you thought cartridges wouldn't do that. But I think my biggest issue is more of the frame rate than anything else. Downloading a game is annoying, but the fact that I'm playing a game and half the frame rate kind of ticks me out. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm still debating on whether I'm getting Sonic Forces on the Switch or not is because of that whole frame rate issue.
Mm-hmm.
I still would say NBA is doing it better because even if I lose half the frame rate, at least I'm getting all the modes in the game. Like I don't really agree with that. Oh, well, we made a custom engine so you wouldn't get a crappy poor man's version of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version. But that's exactly what I'm getting. So I don't understand. Like they fucking made that statement. I'm like, EA, that's exactly what you're doing. though. We're getting exactly what you just said we're not getting. And we're getting less content. And unless the game is priced differently, which I haven't heard anything about, I'm still spending $60 for a poor man's version of the game for no real reason.
But it sure sounded good, though, didn't it?
No, it didn't. if it sounded good, people wouldn't have been pissed off about it. So I would still say NBA is doing it better. I don't necessarily like downloading games, being forced to download games even if I buy a physical copy. But the fact that at least it has everything that the other versions have, minus a half frame rate, I could kind of take that in a download over a poor man's version of the game missing modes.
Yeah.
That's just me
that's
personally.
interesting. Because I'm a little different because the off-screen footage of NBA to me looks less impressive than
Really?
when I saw FIFA for the first time. So that's curious, or not curious, just interesting that I know NBA they just look blocky, and obviously it's off-screen footage, but it didn't. I was like a little disappointed when I first saw it. No,
Oh yeah, we
it's not docked. It's not, it's in its full glory direct feed. But comparing off-screen FIFA to off-screen NBA, I thought FIFA looks like it graphically looks better.
Yeah, I
Are you
completely
sure you
disagree
didn't
on
see
that.
some footage of the PSP game I was showing?
No, I've watched
Because I was pretty impressed by it.
Yeah,
At first-
I was gonna say I think that looks better than FIFA personally.
I mean, it's NBA's way more zoomed in. FIFA's way like zoomed out, so it's not like if there is less.
That's why I'm surprised.
There's less detail, so it's like it's. But when I saw even like a replay after they scored a goal, I was impressed. But like I said, that's just a couple really low quality off screen things. But for me, the frame rate, if it's a lock 30, I guess it probably isn't gonna be that big of a deal. But when you combine the month delay, like is it a month or just under a month, whatever it is,
it's like a month and 2 days.
plus you gonna have to download an unknown amount, which I'm guessing 9 to 10 gigs, because if the game's 25 digitally, I'm guessing they're using the 16 gig cart. Otherwise, why would you have to download something? If it was a 32 gig cart, you wouldn't have to. So I'm gonna guess 9 to 10 gigs. So it's a month late, half the frame rate, and having to download, because I still have 18 gigs left on my system, but I have a lot of indie games and stuff I'm planning on buying. To me, it's like at this point, I can just, without having played either game or seeing really direct feed footage or anything, knowing how the frame rates hold up on either version, to me, I'm leaning towards EA's side for what they've done at this point, because the whole My Journey story mode, a story mode in a sports game just means absolutely nothing to me. So everything else is in the game except for that story mode. So I wouldn't miss that. Even if it was in there, I probably wouldn't even use it. So I'm leaning on the EA side at this very point. Thing could change tomorrow. I could see direct feed footage of NBA, or Digital Foundry could have frame rate analysis of FIFA and it's terrible frame rate or something. There's a lot that can change, but for me, I think EA made the right call, sticking with 60 frames, and the game still looks good. And cutting a story mode out of a single player of a sports game is not really a big loss for me. So let's go to T, since you jumped in. Well, what's your take? Is he still here?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Fuck EA, man. I don't care what you're talking about. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is for me. Okay, there's no reason to because I feel like there's a fervor of protest because of what's going on with the Switch as far as the stuff goes. I always expected this kind of stuff, to believe that you're going to get exactly the same thing on this basically handheld / home console was gonna happen. Never thought that. I knew there was gonna be some issues there. To me, actually, this feels a lot like early N64, because it's very similar to where they had different size. They had the smaller carts in the beginning. They had the 12 and 13 or 12 and 32 megabit cartridges. They didn't get up to the 64-bit cartridges until 98 or 99. That's when you got Resident Evil 2. Somehow they squeezed that with magic and green clovers onto a cartridge. So it feels a lot like that to me. And so it all comes down to what you're willing to sacrifice for the comfort of playing it on your favorite console, or the importance of playing it on the go. And for me, I did that video talking about sports games and all that. Because of the grindy nature of them, I like to be able to play them everywhere, because If you're grinding through an 82 game season or 162 game baseball season, you're not really going to be wanting to do that in front of your TV all the time because it feels kind of grindy. And so as far as, how I feel about it, like I have to play it, basically. I have to play NBA 2K18 to see if the 30 frames is going to bother me because, we played 30 frame sports games for a long time. Obviously, that is a step back. I would like it to be 60. But if it's, to me, the game looks great. I saw it running off screen on a bunch of different videos. It looks great to me. So I don't know if that was just the nature of the video. But to me, it looks good. It looks good enough. I just want to see how it plays because 60 frames also, especially for like sports games and shooters, there's a difference how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing I'm worried about. It better be locked 30. It better not be dipping under 30 frames because that's a no buy. But the cartridge thing again, like I said, I expected this. I'm one of the first people that said I expected to pay more for cartridges. I'm not surprised by that, and I'm not surprised that because Nintendo doesn't have the higher capacity cartridges yet, most likely due to cost, that this was going to happen because they said they're going up to like 64, right? 64 gigs or something. Eventually,
I thought Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 in Japan was 32 gigs.
Oh, because they're at 32, so the cartridges will get bigger. And I mean, this is...
Well, here's the question, though. What do you think the month delay is? Obviously, it's not of an issue of the bigger carts, which I initially guessed back when it was first announced. I was like, well, they're just waiting, trying to get the 32 gig card. Since it obviously you're going to have to download something, it still appears to be the 16 gig card. Then why the delay? Is it so they...
I just think it's a manufacturing thing. I think it has to do with the development of the game. I'm sure this was the last version, to be developed. And now you have to print those. And it's not like burning it to a DVD or a Blu-ray like the other guys. Now you got to put it onto a ROM cartridge or a flash memory card. So, and then you have to manufacture those cards. And they have to figure out, well, how many do we want to manufacture? Do we want to, we don't want to go over? Do we want to go play it under? Well, how do we want to do it? I think with that stuff. And I think once, this year, I think this will be a fond memory by next fall.
Yeah.
People just figure out the kinks right now with the Switch and the differences. So
it'd be nice if we didn't have to do this.
Yes.
From this point on, like with every bigger game.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Retro? If you want to just comment more on just the cartridge downloading and having a physical and still having to download? I don't know if you want to comment on the gameplay or who you think's made the better choice at this point with going with the custom engine versus trying to reproduce the PS4, Xbox One on the Switch.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. Well, I don't care the comparison for the PS4, Xbox One. I never really cared too much of that, so I just keep it between the FIFA and NBA thing. For me, the 1080 60 FPS or the 30 FPS and 30 FPS on NBA, I don't care too much. I never cared for 30 frames per second or not. I'm getting Sonic Forces on the Switch because I like it better, being able to have it handheld and everything. I do feel FIFA will be better in 60 frames and 30 FPS exactly, especially because FIFA is very small. You have small characters and a small ball, so that extra frame rate is really going to benefit FIFA. And for NBA, I don't think it matters too much. Then you have like the thing where FIFA has a mode less, and NBA I think has like particles less or some shit like that. I'm gonna give that to NBA, I think, because to FIFA, because I'd rather have a mode less and have it visually be exactly the same. And in the end, for me, FIFA just wins this hands down for one simple reason. I'm a collector. I like my shit physical, and they're starting something now that I cannot stand, where physical isn't physical anymore. When physical becomes digital, it makes no sense. You cannot split shit halfway when it comes to physical. It's either digital or physical, and you cannot, I feel, have people who buy physical still basically download the game as well. I can't even comprehend how stupid this is, especially because I heard the same thing like that you heard, that there are like with Dragon Quest, that they have 32 gig cards. The game fits on the card, and I think I don't care who, somebody has to swallow that cost, because I'm with T. I also feel that I'd rather pay more, because I assume to pay more with cards. That's the idea, and I'd rather pay even $10 more to have NBA fully on there. And I wasn't gonna get either of these games, but I always liked NBA Jam. I like the gameplay of basketball games. I was considering getting it, and for me, I'm not gonna get a 25 gig game digitally on the Switch. So for me, the fact that now they're splitting it up, I'm no longer interested at all.
Yeah, and I think there's gonna be some people that make that have that same, like I was thinking about maybe I should wait for next year. It'll probably all be on a bigger cart, but then I'm like, if it is a solid game, I do want to support, because having more multiplayer games, in my opinion, is never a bad thing. Something that you can just jump on, play online. Just another option for game nights and stuff, instead of always right now just playing Splatoon and something like that. So for me, it was just like, hey, this is gonna be cool. To have another multiplayer online game, or another, I can hand my buddy a controller type of game and we can play couch co-op, because really Mario Kart 8 is the only one, because Splatoon is just single player. So I was just excited I'm excited to have another couch co-op type of game, and basketball is an easy enough concept, and I think it's a more action oriented type sport than soccer, which is
Definitely.
1-0, type of.
If I may make the point that I made to you guys in the chat the other day, this particular problem, especially when it comes to these, how I say, Me Too third-party multiplats like NBA 2K, this particular problem is a Nintendo fans problem, like specifically a Nintendo fans problem, because this is what we expected with the Switch. The PS4 gamer, the Xbox One gamer who may have picked up a Switch as well, they don't give a shit, because they're used to having to have the disc, if they even buy the disc and still have to download everything onto their hard drive. So they're used to this. And this, you're asking them to download 30 gigs less. This is not a problem for those guys. And I think this is the type of game that those guys will gravitate to, will actually want to play. That'll actually make them say, yeah, let me go ahead and get a Switch, because they're getting these types of games. I think for them, this is a good thing. Obviously the frame rate isn't. Hopefully down the line somewhere, maybe we can get a patch of some kind to give us a option to go 720, 60.
Yeah, we don't even know the resolution.
We don't even know that. So that would be a hope of mine. But I think we're seeing it from our perspective. But I think from that gamer, because we all talked about friends of ours that haven't played a game console since the GameCube, and they bought a Switch out of nowhere, and it's just like, for those guys, I don't think they're gonna care.
And they're gonna have room on their internal, because they're not downloading fucking indie games and stuff.
Exactly, like we are.
Like I have 18.5 gigs with a few games downloaded, so
yeah.
I don't think NBA will be more than 10 maximum. But if it depends on Xenoblade Chronicles 2, if there's going to be an issue moving forward for this year.
But even that, I mean, we had to, we didn't have to download Xenoblade Chronicles X onto the Wii U, but it definitely helped as far as loading times and all that stuff. So for games that size, you're probably going to end up with the same thing. The option, or you can go, I don't know how it's going to work on cartridge, so that's just a guess. But I feel like this is specifically a Nintendo Switch, hardcore gamers problem, and not like the average gamer who may have just picked up a Switch because it was popular and they want to play on the go and have that console experience also. So, just a thought.
All right, Robert, what's your take?
Okay, so
I know you just had a video too, which we went over a lot of this, but
yeah. So okay, for me, I do think 2K is going the better route, just because at least you do have the full content there. And like, if for instance, like I may not play the story mode either, but if there's probably a lot of people that do, and also something like if they didn't have My Career, which My Career is pretty damn popular in NBA 2K. A lot of what I like to do is exactly what T like to do. Is that even grammatically correct? I'm not too sure. But regardless, like me and T, we both like to play the season. You know, you like to do that, the 82 games. That's great.
Mhm.
But if they didn't have like My Career, I'm sure that would have been a pretty big blow to like a lot of people. But because it is the full content of NBA, it's just you get the 30 frames. I think that's fine, especially because like I don't think 60 is gonna like do much of an impact for basketball because I haven't really thought about it. Like the last time I did play was 2K14, so I wasn't too sure. I'm sure that was 60 also. I guess it's been 60 for a while, but I haven't really realized, especially back then. That was 2013. I don't really remember.
I'd be curious what it was on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I'm sure that was not.
It was probably 60. Yeah.
But you think so? Maybe.
I think
I don't know.
I know NBA. I know NFL 2K was definitely 60. So I would guess NBA was 60.
I mean, regardless, I do think they're doing the better way. And I think it's just kind of one of those things, at least we don't have to download the full 25. At least it is going to be something like 10. And if it's something like 10, it's like I'll take it for the portability. And I'm still super interested to see if the Xbox One and PS4 versions are 25 gigs. Because I think it's going to be probably more like 40, 50.
No, those are 40. Those are going to be 40 plus.
Yeah,
that's what they usually are.
So they obviously did compress it still for the Switch.
Right.
You know, they still went out of their way to be like, okay, we're still gonna make this smaller for the Switch, but it still is the same content and everything, and like the same visuals. It's just 30 frames, and I think that's still fine. But yeah, I think they're doing it better, 2K over FIFA for me personally, and also I like basketball much better than soccer. I don't really care to play soccer. That's just me.
The thing why I
just
also
think
never
EA just
really
need to
care.
shut up, man.
The thing why I never really care about the frame shit either is because I live in Europe and we didn't have 60 frames when I was younger, you know, like our TVs, we were at like 50 hertz always and shit. I think I only started playing in some games at 60 frames was, I think, and this is so stupid because I hate that fucking game, when Metroid Prime 2 came, Echoes, it was obligatory in 60 frames per second, so I had to buy a whole new fucking TV in order to play that shitty game. But until then, like that's why I just don't care if it's 30 frames. It doesn't change anything too much for me. Of course, I would like more. It's always better. But if it's not there, I don't miss anything.
Yeah, like I said, once we see and play these games or see direct feed footage, I mean.
But here's the thing about me. Like you saw, I mean, maybe you saw it or not. My last video, I was talking about portable, sports gaming and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the end of that video. I was like, there was some cracks in my EA boycott armor. I was like, I'm liking FIFA. I'm cracking. I might end up picking it up. And then they open their goddamn mouths again.
What'd they say?
And now I'm just like, I'm not buying this shit now. I'm done. I was on the cusp of buying this game, and they cannot shut up and they can't keep their foot out of their mouths. And they ruined it for me. So that to me is the biggest difference. They just, be proud of your game, put it out, shut up. Just shut up. That's all. Like, and they cannot shut up about it. So
no, they can't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching some NBA 2K13 gameplay from and maybe this is what is he playing on? He doesn't say. Of course, it's Go Robo, where he just lists every fucking game console instead of telling you what he's playing it on.
That's taking those extra views.
I was just curious what the the launch Xbox One version looked like. Just
that's that was 2K14.
That's the one you got, right?
Was it 14?
My last one was 2K14.
Oh, yeah, it was 14.
That was the one that I got,
right.
and I got that. That was my action. That was my day one Xbox One purchase. Was 2K14.
Nice.
Not no other.
I'm so sorry, Robert. I'm so sorry.
I like it, obviously. Oh yeah.
Maybe what I don't like about that Barbershop Switch gameplay is the camera angle. I don't know.
I mean, even
I like the more side.
You could actually
side court.
Oh, you can change that.
Yeah, you can change it. There's like 90 different camera options.
Seriously,
yeah.
At least 90.
It makes the court look so small in the one.
Yeah, I don't like the way they're doing it either. I like this.
I don't play that way. I play in the side.
Yeah, on the side.
I'm slanted way.
Anyway, I mean, it's just going to be interesting, like I said, my juice opinions, to really see how this plays out once both games are out, because they come out the same day. Somebody's going to have that digital version game, or Digital Foundry. There's going to be direct feed footage of the Switch version on September 19th, along with FIFA. So, and it's not just the graphics. Like, I want to see if it looks like a consistent frame rate in docked, handheld. It still would be kind of crucial, I think, for me. But just to see, and it's just two different philosophies there. And we gave EA a lot of shit about not using the Frostbite, but like it's a pretty solid looking engine.
Yeah, I didn't mind that they took that mode out. I was like, I'm never gonna use that fucking mode anyway. I don't care. They just the amount of BS they keep spewing about it. Just like, just stop.
Yeah, because they keep lying about shit. That's what takes me off.
They keep saying that it's.
It's like, oh yeah, you're not getting the worst version. Well, yeah, we are. Don't fucking tell me you're not.
Well, they keep saying that it's as you need to get it just like Zelda and Mario Kart. They're like, it's Zelda, Mario Kart, and FIFA, guys. That's what you got to get.
It's like, what?
It's the true Triforce of games. That's what it is.
I still think it's gonna sell well. I think they're making a push, especially
well
in Europe. And
the problem is Europe's the biggest market for FIFA, and they're the smallest market for the Switch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could sell consoles, but there's
I think it will sell consoles. That's what I think.
But and then NBA, like you said, could draw in non-Nintendo guys who they want to play it on the go, and they're probably not even going to know about the frame rate. Someone's not going to pay attention to that. So it'll be interesting to see, and maybe both strategies end up being right for each game.
Yeah.
I think EA strategy is right. I just think they need to shut the hell up and let the strategy work and stop all this damage control or whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're. Be quiet.
Someone's trying to send a link in the chat, or it must be to a video or something. You can't, unless you're a moderator, you can't put links in the chat. So
we don't trust nobody.
NeoStar. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to share, but doesn't work. So I don't know another way you could send that where I could check it out. I guess link me on Twitter or something if it's something related to what we're talking about. But since T's here now, I figure we can jump in the Mario+Rabbids discussion, get some hands-on impressions, what you like about the game, if there's anything you don't like, and just give our general thoughts on it. So let's start with T. I don't know how much I've seen you were playing it. So I know you played it. So I don't know how much you played it, but how you feeling about the game?
It sucks balls. I probably played it like 4 hours, and I can't stand it. No, I'm kidding. I like it. It's pretty cool. I haven't got far enough into it, but it plays pretty well. Like it walks you in, teaches you, how to play it. The controls are perfect. I love the battle system. It's fun. It's engaging. I can't talk too much about it because I probably played about 2.5 hours of it. I haven't had a lot of time to play with it, but I'm loving it so far. So, and the rabbit, I can't believe I'm sitting there playing the game. I'm like audibly chuckling at it's funny. I was very surprised by that. And I like that opening cinematic was glorious.
Yeah,
it was gorgeous. And
so
I like the whole setup to it. It actually, it's not the greatest story, but it's definitely engaging enough to where you're motivated and stuff. So, I think I just found Toad or whatever. That's my last. So
Are you into it. Have you finished World 1? Have you got to the boss?
I haven't got to the boss yet. No, I'm close though. I feel like I'm close.
Yeah, it becomes a very different. In my opinion, it's the challenge once you get to Worlds 2 and 3. It's like it feels like a completely different game to me now. But the early goings, I was a little bored, like the first half hour, 40 minutes, because I had seen all that because I was dumb enough to watch.
Oh, I hadn't seen
a video. I seen the whole opening cinematic and all all those first levels.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I didn't. There was no spoiler warning, So I'm all of a sudden I'm watching the opening cinematic, and I'm like, damn.
Okay, so when that opening cinematic starts, you like, oh, spoiler, out of here.
And I was like, oh, so I watched it. So when I got
Goddamn.
the game, it wasn't. I basically was trying to skip through, and I couldn't. And I was at work. I was playing on my lunch, so I was just kind of checking on my phone while I was playing because I'd already seen it. But it was just so easy in the beginning. Like I was just like, I couldn't get into it. But once it gets more challenging, then it's definitely you got to be paying attention. So let's go to Terrell. I'm guessing you probably have the most play time. That's just a guess based on, I don't know.
Well,
Just,
I'll give you.
I know you like those types of games.
Well, to give you a hint, I've been playing the game for the last 10 minutes. So that's
You only have 10 minutes, though, man.
No. I don't know how we would measure time, but I already have Rabbit Yoshi. So the only
What world are you on? What world are you on?
I'm on the lava world.
Well,
I think
I'm
what
stuck
world?
on World 3.
Number.
That's world 4, I believe.
Okay.
It's like when I start my game, it says I'm like 70% done with like the main story stuff. So I'm guessing I don't know how many worlds there are, but I'm about I'm in the lava
5.
world.
Yeah, I think there's 5. I think that's right.
Okay, then I'm probably like 2 worlds away. I got a real kick out of it. I don't know why. It was literally one of those games I got and I played religiously way more than I thought I would. I think I had beat like the second boss by the first day, and I was like, God damn, I didn't think I would get into this as much. The game looks great. I really like the versatility with the characters. I've already like reset my skill tree like 2 or 3 times just to figure out different combinations. I have like my own little mini squads within the characters I got. And what trips me out, because the one thing I always seem to forget in this game is that there's a lot of shit you can do, and there is no restriction on the order you do it. So like the first few matches, I'm sitting there going, okay, so I move, and then I attack, and then I use my special. Well, you don't have to fucking do that. Which you can do it in any order you want. So it's like it's a weird thing where I have to kind of mentally remind myself that, oh, well, I could set up my Overwatch ability and then have Luigi run on to the other side of the map and set off his Overwatch ability and then fucking attack him. And then, oh, well, shit, now you have a back and forth shot for shot going on. And I think that's like my biggest love of this game is how much shit you can do in a turn. Because you can completely like wreck half of the enemies you're fighting just through your first few turns. And even the escort missions aren't really bad in this game. I'm surprised. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, once I figured out I could shoot first or set an ability first, then it just like completely changed the game for me. Like I just thought I was just playing the game and it didn't really show me. I had figured it out, before the first boss, but it was a little bit into the game before I realized, oh, I can use ZR and ZL to do something before moving. I was just moving first and then shooting like I didn't know. And then I didn't realize you had to go to the skill tree to unlock your secondary weapon abilities. So, it doesn't hold your hand completely. And it's cool when you figure that stuff out. And then, like you said, you activate, what is Mario's ability where he shoots a moving enemy?
Oh, it's a hero sight.
Yeah. And then, so I set that first. Then I shoot one of those big dudes who immediately walk towards you after you shoot. And I'll have Luigi and Mario's ability set. So as soon as it starts moving, it gets hit. Mario shoots twice, Luigi shoots twice, and it just like disintegrates them in one, in a few actions without even really taking my whole first turn. And I was like, damn, that's some good stuff. So what would you say is your favorite part about the game?
Battles. I love the. I mean, the exploration's fine. I don't mind it. I just like the battling just because I like experimenting with characters. Like for me personally, I really like Rabbit Luigi because he has like he has the best ground movement in the game, and then he has that vampire dash that fucking shit's beautiful to set up a nice combo where you have this man dash into 3 or 4 enemies, then you have Mario just pick them off afterwards, and then I love the it's like firing them in a different way for me. That whole tactics based gameplay, because you can use the enemy's quirks to your advantage. So I love the battle system a lot.
And someone was like, oh, the exploration looks boring. Well, if you haven't played it, you can't comment on if something's boring or not, because the exploration's actually kind of cool. I mean, it's not as good as something Nintendo would do, but I think it's exploration in the
For
puzzle.
this type of game, I think it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's the only time the controls bother me is trying to line up, like to push a block or something.
Did you run into that issue? I was gonna say, did you run into that issue where you thought you're thinking you're playing as Mario?
I know.
Yeah,
I know. It still gets. I was just moving blocks and it still gets me. I mean, I know that I'm the robots, but it's one of those 8-degree directional movement scenarios where you only have 8 directions.
Basically, a digital pad kind
of. Yeah, pad. And real quick, someone sent. I linked it in the chat. Like,
looks phenomenal
off screen, except for when you see like the coach's hair, and it's just. I mean, that's a sacrifice they obviously had to make.
Yeah.
It's like just completely static.
The coach's hair. That's what you're worried about.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure that's probably.
I'm looking for where somebody said they didn't see any clothes physics, but I'm just like, obviously they had to cut some stuff, and if hair's got to be the one to go, that's one of the best, like, or most arbitrary things. So they might as well.
I think people are just not understanding like what a amazing feat it is to cram that game onto a little cartridge.
Yeah, that wasn't me nitpicking. That was just me pointing out that.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying people in general when they talk about these little things. You know, I just think that that's the sacrifice you have to make. You know, because it looks great running. Does it not look good when they're running back and forth? It looks good to me.
I'm still looking for proof that this is the Switch version because there's.
Well, no, I'm just talking about that.
You can switch you can see the Switch docked when the camera dips a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying, just even from the off-screen stuff or of the gamepad. Listen to me. Of the Wii U or Wii U. What the?
Jesus Christ,
dude.
The Switch.
The Switch screen. Even just looking at footage of that off-screen looked great to me, animations-wise, like flow-wise. I'm just impressed. I mean, the My Career mode, all that is a lot of stuff to be putting into that little cartridge
and apparently now the other things like open world, the neighborhood.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's impressive to me. So
all right, let's get back to Mario. Roberts, I haven't seen you on your on the friends list as much lately.
Look at this man.
I play very late. I usually play literally. Okay. It's like midnight, 1 a.m. I start playing.
Stalking people and shit.
I know.
I wasn't sure how like he was really playing the game. I had
watch this man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like in the middle of World 2. That's where I'm at.
Did you finish Paper Mario yet, Robert?
Yeah, chill out. Not Super Paper Mario, that's for sure. But it's really damn fun. It really is a ton of fun. It's just awesome to see. How I'm gonna say these damn Rabbids. I love to see him alongside Mario. It's just so mind-blowing to me because it's just so cool to have some of my favorite video game characters together, Mario and the Rabbids. That's right, the Rabbids are amazing, people. And it's just awesome because it is funny. It's a very funny game, and the humor is just really good. I really like the humor. The actual fighting system, the combat, very cool. I guess you call it battle system, right? Because it's enjoyable. It's different. I haven't played anything like it. I never played something like XCOM. I never played that kind of stuff, and I do enjoy it. I do like it a lot. It's very gorgeous, incredibly gorgeous. Game.
I'm crazy, with you, man. I'm like, that's the visuals you need for the movie for Mario.
Yeah,
I tell you that. There's maybe some lighting and shading they could bump up.
Well, yeah,
it does look a little flat in the first couple worlds, but why World 3 where it's like nighttime and the little robot's got a flashlight, like it looks fantastic. Like I don't need much better than that for the movie. I mean, right now it's probably up to the Ratchet and Clank movie.
Wow.
Why you gotta do that?
Why you do this, man? Chill out, man.
The Ratchet and Clank movie was very good looking, man.
Right now it's up to Knack visual.
That's not saying much, man.
What?
Yeah, I'm back here just saying.
Oh, I do want to geek out over the cutscenes real quick because I don't think we brought it up yet. I love the humor in this game, dude. Like it's funny because although you have your kind of toilet-ish humor, a lot of it is just like physical comedy gags. Like Like I think when they first run into Princess Peach, fucking Rabbit Peach gets salty. He's like, no, hold her hand, hold my hand. And he's like, and Mario just does a face palm. He's like, come on, man.
Or they don't show Luigi the photo, like they keep laughing and Luigi's trying to look and they keep turning away.
And I like how Luigi does that weird thing where he's just like sliding up just to kind of look over, and then he ducks down when the rabbits turn around. They're like, what the fuck was that? And it's like,
and I love the animations for all these characters. Like the DK Rabbit is so good. I love the animation where he just kind of sits there. He's like, roar, and then just eats the banana. The banana, like he just looks like he swallows a whole banana, and just his face is so funny looking. And I love the animation. The animation is top notch in this game. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple spots. I was playing portable mode mostly. It is, in my opinion, it's the best thing to be playing off, in portable mode. I almost said off TV, which basically the same thing.
I know,
out of all the Wii U games, and Switch games, to me, this is the best game for playing while actually being able to pay attention to sports. Or I was even watching Training Day. It was on A&E, so it was obviously edited. All the swear words and anything violent was cut out, but
lame.
Is so in that regard, if it was just like on HBO or something, because I've only seen that movie once, the day it came out on DVD. I haven't seen it since, and it was just like seeing it for the first time. But I was like, I can just casually play, and like during the commercials, and it's one of those games where it's turn based, so it doesn't matter where you are in the game, you can just look up. You don't have to pause, and it is the best game to play when you want to do something else at the same time, because it isn't that constant like action combat where you got to be paying attention constantly, like a race game. Like you can't look away from Mario Kart 8. When you're playing when you're playing Splatoon, I can act like I'm watching a football game or something, but I ain't watching shit. All of a sudden it's like, the other team's got the ball. What the hell happened? It's like you can't focus. So for me, this game's gonna excel with football starting this Thursday night. Like I can make progress in the game, go back, do some challenge missions, maybe replay some missions I didn't get the perfect score in, and I'm not gonna be missing out much on football. So for me, that's like the biggest thing I like about this game. The only drawback to that is if I just try to play it for like 2 hours straight, I'm looking forward to, am I done yet? Can I can't play this type of game for more than, I want to say like an hour and a half, and completely focused on the game. So it's one of those ones where I can play it, and then I really just wanted to play Zelda, play some Splatoon. It's not something I'm not gonna put 20-30 hours into this game and then like, now I'll go back to the other games. I'm gonna have to throw this in between.
I gotta go back to play Recore. That was good.
Ooh. Hey man, and that definitive edition came out, right?
I haven't noticed any changes, but okay.
I didn't see any in that Recore definitive edition, but
I have the game, and I think it's supposed to update automatically. And I got the update, but I didn't see.
How's the automatic update going then?
I haven't seen anything different in my.
But it is, like I said, to me, the best thing about it is being able to play portable mode and still focus on something else at the same time. So
I have to agree with what you're saying. I didn't buy it yet. I'm going to buy it next week. But this kind of game is perfect for it. I can't stand it that these days so many people, like this racing game gets announced. Oh, this game is perfect for the handheld mode on the Switch. The fighting game gets announced. This game is perfect for that. Like people are saying it for every single game. It's so stupid. But for this, it actually counts.
Yeah. Some people mention that in every one of their videos. So.
Yeah, because like I said, Mario Kart 8 is cool to play like on lunch or something, but it's not one of those, I'm sitting at home and I'm watching something. I don't really want to stop watching it, but I want to play. Like I said, you play Mario Kart, you might as well just have it on the TV because you're not paying attention to anything else. So that is, like, I don't use that phrase very often for how good it is in portable mode. And to me, this one, trying to think of, Xenoblade Chronicles X, when I was grinding, was pretty good in off TV play. But when it was like the story stuff and main stuff, I was like, I wanted it on the screen, on my TV. So
it's perfect when you want to just like relax on the couch or lay in bed.
yeah, when I want to lay down. I played it in bed last night.
Jesus Christ.
Funny enough.
Chill out.
I was at the point it was too late to turn everything on, but I wasn't quite going to fall asleep. So I was like, I'll sit up, I'll play 2 battles. And I did. And that's all I can handle.
If you don't stop, dude, Jesus Christ.
And I'm hoping to get a review code for NBA.
No, fucking terrible.
We love you, bro. We love you.
No, you don't.
So, anyone else? I think everyone covered Mario+Rabbids that has the game. So,
ouch.
No, it's fine. Juice is over here being a bitch.
Retro said he's gonna get it probably next week. So
yeah, like what I just said. Like between at first I was really excited for Fire Emblem and shit, and like I told Juice this earlier. Now that Fire Emblem is basically Fate's HD and shit, I don't care almost anymore, and I'm more excited about Mario+Rabbids. So that's why I'm getting it next week now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm still getting the game, guys.
Robert's like the ambassador of rabbits and shit.
If they want to make me their advertisement, their marketing employee for Rabbids, that'd be great.
And we'll see. We'll see how it sounds. Because
I will say, I will say though is that I wanted to get a collector's edition, but it didn't happen because when I went to GameStop, they're like, oh no, it's only for pre-orders, and I'm like, really? Come on, that sucks. It's like, fine, whatever. So I got my physical copy of just regular edition, but then I did end up buying a Rabbid Yoshi figurine, and they're big, man. I think it's the coolest one definitely because it's got the big machine gun. It's cool, and it's so good. It's big. Like I did not expect it in this big ass box, and I was like, "Oh snap!"
Do you think
how big is it?
Leak?
Almost bigger than my hand. I mean.
You think the quote unquote leak was by design?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Do you think all the stuff that came up before? I think it was because I feel like they knew that there was this kind of negative kind of stigma with the rabbits. And they were like, all right, let's just throw the idea out there and let it sink in. Let people get it and let it sink in.
Maybe.
And then slowly we'll show them some stuff, and then we'll show them that this is actually a really good game.
I don't think it was.
Because they seem pretty bummed.
Yeah, I'm about to say I've seen. Yeah, because I've seen the.
Well, I'm sure they were bummed about the reaction. Nobody liked the idea of it, but I think they were bummed about it because they thought what would happen actually happened, and but I feel like if it wasn't strategic, even though I feel like it was, I feel like it worked out for them in the long run because people got to get that idea out of their head. We for months we had the talks of rabbits, and this is a stupid idea, and then that's the best way for you to end up liking something. If you to fold your hands and like, this is dumb, I don't want anything to do with this, and then they hit you with greatness, and you're like, oh. That actually is pretty cool. I
especially when they put the artwork out. Everyone saw the artwork. It was like,
that looks clean.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I will say a couple things. First off, maybe the existence of Mario Odyssey. If this game had, even after all that was shown and there was no new Mario game coming this year, I don't know if it would have been as well received.
Different. Yeah.
But I do
change the fact that it was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been a different reception overall.
I do think that it might have worked out that way. I don't know if that's there's no way they could have foreseen that happening.
Those leaks were pretty. Those were pretty big stuff in there. There's like, it wasn't just some shoddy screenshot. This was like, what do you call it? Direct feed, direct capture materials from the stuff that they were working.
Yeah, because I remember OJ and he had like official box art like a month before E3.
Yeah, he knew a while before. A lot of people did.
I don't know. Whatever I do agree with though. I think it helped it in the long run.
Yeah.
And that shout outs to Brian Altano, even though before the Switch came out, he really said some stupid shit. But he has a great interview with the director or producer. I think it's a producer with video games. The main guy is the producer, I think. his title, but it was on Facebook. I didn't see it anywhere else. And it's
Yeah,
a
it was
really
on,
good
that's why I
interview.
saw it on Facebook.
It's like, why isn't this on IGN? Oh, because it's a legit, actual like journalism happening and a really good like what do they call, like editorial but in video form, you know. And it was like, this is great. Like, how is this the same idiot that was like, well, the Switch isn't going to be good because it's only 1080p and it doesn't have Mass Effect Andromeda. You know, it's like,
Remember Mass Effect Andromeda, people? Remember that game?
yeah.
That thing's like, I think it's like $20 now.
Or no, VR. He said no VR. It's only
Yeah.
1080p and it doesn't have Mass Effect Andromeda. Three things that are pretty much irrelevant right now.
I'd be surprised if he has it. I'd be surprised if he even has a VR anything in his house.
Which
But-
I will say, I still play my VR headset. Just to let you know, people, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was really wondering.
All by myself, don't wanna be all by
Yeah, I
myself.
mean, it is. I will say, I'm definitely in the minority of people who continue to play it, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
I do gotta say though, ever since Nintendo released, that shit's been known about Mario Kart VR, the official shit, from their arcade Mario Kart stuff. I can definitely see them actually do something with the Switch at some point.
Yeah, I just want VR to add to the gameplay. Like for me right now, it's just a gimmick. It's just like, which is cool. Like I like 3D movies. I like going to certain movies to see like them in 3D, and that's a cool gimmick and it's fun. It doesn't add to the movie. It doesn't make it a better movie. I'm waiting for VR to make games better, or not better, but just like different. Make them.
Well, I will say they're okay. So from someone who has the HTC Vive, I will say that if you're doing sit down games where you're just looking around, it definitely is like a 3D.
Well, that's what most of them are right now.
But but the only one that really does that is the Vive. If you have room scale where you could walk around and move, that shit is so good. I love it.
Your ass.
I'm telling you, you feel like you're an amazing badass taking like things, and it's just so cool. But like for sitting down, it's definitely not amazing. I'll say that.
Yeah. What's that Microsoft thing? That looked really cool.
The HoloLens, but it's like
HoloLens.
$10,000.
It's expensive, as hell. But it looked amazing. Like
It definitely looks amazing. I want to try it. I want to try that.
That's in the future there.
And the 3DS had something similar. It was just,
AR.
yeah, you had to look on the screen, and I guess Apple's doing that with all their devices. But again, you're using the camera and you're looking at the screen, and without the 3D depth, I don't think it's going to be as cool. But still something that could be, utilized. Some apps could be really cool. You know, nothing gaming wise, I don't think. But
thanks, Brian Altano, for throwing us off our topic.
yeah, I just got to give him a shout out because it was one of the best gaming interviews I've ever seen come from anyone from IGN. And it's like, it wasn't even on their site. They might put it up there, or it might be up there now. I haven't looked, but I never go to IGN. But it was a great interview. Tell that dude's was really passionate and excited to work on the game, and Miyamoto's definitely inspiration to him. So that was legit. You know, everyone saw him getting emotional and stuff, and he shared like they had this crazy idea, and they go to him, and he's like, "Well, just do something different. You know, make sure Mario doesn't jump this in the same way that we're used to. Don't make a platformer." And they weren't expecting him to say, "Hey, do something way different." But it makes sense. Don't try to make a freaking Mario platformer. Why would he want that? But it was just kind of cool. So check out the interview if you can find it.
Check out the Did You Know video on it. That's some good behind the scenes stuff.
Oh
too.
yeah, that too. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So I guess the last thing we'll talk about is the Nindies at Night event. We had the PAX West where they had even some more games, some new trailers. And, Nindies at Night was preceded by the Spotlight, which I think most of the people saw that. Not everybody saw the Nindies at Night. It was on some random channel. I forget even where it was on live. It wasn't on Nintendo's YouTube channel. So I don't know. That was a weird choice, I thought. But let's just focus on the Spotlight first. Just a couple games that stood out to each person, and then just overall how you feel about how they handled that, and the Nindies at Night, if you saw any of it. So let's start with Terrell, because I know you do like indie games, and yeah, I think you maybe have some of the games you like, but probably different than some of the games I like. So why don't you go first?
So yeah, as you said, I like indie games. I'm being stupid. It was fine. I wasn't super enthralled by a lot, other than the SteamWorld Dig 2. That's cool. I think it's Wargroove I'm thinking of. The one that reminds me of Advance Wars. I forget which one it is. They showed that again. We didn't see any Pocket Rumble, so I was a little salty about that. Although Cuttlefish was there. Flipping Death looked cool. Most of the stuff I saw was pretty cool all around. It's kind of hard to remember all of them off the top of my head. There was I know what I want to talk about. The one by Inti Creates. It's like an action RPG that features like that same kind of pixel art from like Azure Strike or Gunvolt.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Walk for Death.
Is that what it's called?
The beat 'em up thingy with the swords and shit.
Yeah.
Dragon Mark for Death. That was one of my favorites too.
That was probably the one that stuck out to me the most, and then obviously the No More Heroes announcement. By the way, Suda is the best in interviews and everything in life. I love watching that dude in like everything. He's just funny as fuck. Also, because someone needs to make a gif out of that whole random Wiimote jack-off section. That shit had me in tears. But but overall it was pretty good. I think the only bad part was something that Juice mentioned in his Juice opinions, which was that Nintendo pretty much did what Sony does in Xbox, where they say everything's exclusive or console exclusive, and none of that shit's ever. And most of it wasn't either true or it was like misinformation in general. So that was like my only negative. That, and I think the guy I forget, the girl Amanda was fine, but like the guy seemed like he was way too fucking hyper every time they did an interview with him. So yeah, those are my only things.
All right, T, what were some of the standouts for you for the indie games?
I don't remember any of the names. For some reason, I'm sitting here thinking like,
look at this old man. Look at this old man.
What was okay? There's the one shooter that I thought was unique and crazy as hell. Morphe's Law. I thought that was bananas. I just liked it because I thought it was such a crazy idea. There was oh my gosh, what's the one that I said looked like Metal Slug meets
Morphe's Law.
Hunt Down.
Morphe's Law. Listen to this.
That's Hunt Down.
Hunt Down. That looked
great.
awesome. I can't wait to play that thing. Obviously, No More Heroes. Duh. Travis Strikes Again. I'm not sure I like that title. It should be like Travis Strikes would be cool. Just Travis Strikes, No More Heroes. But anyway, that that sword fighting one, the brawler.
Oh yeah, it looked like was it the 4-player RPG one?
Yeah.
I forgot.
9 Parchments?
No, not 9 Parchments. I'm talking about
no, it's 2D side scroller.
2D side scrolling.
Yeah, it's like an RPG.
Yeah, reminded me of like Dungeons and Dragons. What's that game? It doesn't matter. That will look great. And there was so many. There was so many games that stuck out to me. I should have made a damn list before we came on here. Then I'd know for sure. But that to me was the most amazing thing. Was just like usually when they do these kind of Nindies things, it's like okay, 1 or 2 games, maybe 3. But obviously, SteamWorld Dig, I'm a huge fan. I love SteamWorld Dig. The first one, SteamWorld Dig 2, was definitely on my radar. I played the crap out of that game on 3DS. Loved it to death. So that, I mean, there's a bunch, but again, I just think that overall, how many that were really good was surprising to me.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most surprising thing, I think. And I was pretty impressed with that. And I think at some point, indies need to stop calling themselves indies. Like, even if they just use independent, because if by calling yourself an indie, you're grouping yourself in with shit like Koki the Frog and bullshit. And then like, what's that Wii U game, Robert?
The Letter?
The Letter.
Is that like trauma for you guys now? Every
trash.
And
it's PTSD,
on Switch. Vroom. The
Letter? Did you say The Letter?
Yeah. Trash. Like, that's all indie too. So indie it's almost like a genre, and I don't like that. It shouldn't be
Mhm.
that way because you're grouping, like I said, you're grouping yourself with trash, So they are third-party games. Obviously, they're independent publishers, but maybe just call yourself independently published games, and that I mean that's not as quick to say as indie, but
Or not even mention that. Just hey, this is the new game
or even that.
Yeah, this is the new 2D action game.
Yeah.
Somebody's publishing it, so who gives a shit if it's independent? It doesn't make sense. So,
but shout outs to Zoe70. He was in the chat saying, "Yeah, that one girl with glasses doing the interviews was really hot." And like, word.
You're late on that one, bro.
Yeah,
That's my girl.
She's had a weird masturbation session we didn't know about. She got
I
weird.
watched a lot of her
long
videos in a
conversation.
short period of time. Too bad she doesn't like men, but I still love her.
Hey man, that makes it even better. Fucking lesbians for the win. 10
It ain't like she lived down the street. I can go holler at her.
Oh.
It's all in the imagination anyway.
But if anyone's interested, just search Pamela Horton, October 2012.
Oh.
Get some
I
good
have to
pics.
say that I was the one who noticed it first. I was like, man, that girl is sexy as hell, whoever she is. And then we went on a search to find out who she was.
This is a lot of extra effort for no
Turned
reason.
out she was the model for Bayonetta 2 back in the
Which
day.
was a little
Don't say
disappointing.
back in the day. It hadn't been that long.
Well, it was about 3 years ago almost, right?
2014.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long. It's like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just said.
Did Robert beat her? Weren't you in the same place with her? Or somebody was.
Yeah, didn't you meet her or something, Robert?
The Bayonetta cosplay?
Me? I went, dude. I met him.
I don't think he was allowed to go in yet.
What is happening right now?
Oh yeah, he was
I'd be
only
shocked
12
if
then.
if I met him. Yeah, I would have been 14 then.
I thought you met a Bayonetta cosplayer at an event. Maybe it was Red Knight. Somebody was like,
No,
yeah,
I
she was
didn't.
short. Maybe it was just
Uh,
a video. Somebody might have did a vlog while they were in line at the event.
I remember seeing a video with somebody hanging out with her, taking pictures and stuff.
I didn't know it was her, but anyway, she's really cool. Like an actual gamer, not just a hot chick who's like, oh, I'm gonna get these nerds to subscribe to me and give me
somebody
money.
said they call them boob tubers or something.
Yeah. But anyway, back on track.
Can we not?
Retro.
Can we not, please?
Well, she doesn't do any of that crap. She could easily do that stuff,
I know.
being that she's
Yeah,
a
she
model.
totally
She doesn't
could.
do it.
She puts glasses on, and because she's a lesbian. I don't know if she's the guy in the relationship, but she definitely tries to downplay her
my goodness.
femininity.
What's happening to Juice's League right now?
I'm just telling you, don't go to her channel.
Don't stereotype lesbians, Juice. Don't.
I'm just saying she's not
Don't
gonna be.
do it, Juice.
The guy.
Listen, shut the fuck up. I'm just trying to tell people that don't go to her channel thinking there's gonna be some sexy hot chick in every video. Like she's not trying to do that. She's totally downplaying her looks. I don't know if it's intentional or just her style. So probably maybe related to her sexual preference. Who knows? So
He said the guy.
anyway, let's get Retro's take on anything from the showcase jump out at you that you're excited about.
Yeah, definitely. And I won't talk about the ones we've already seen, like Nine Parchments and SteamWorld Day 2. I'm super excited for those. But from the new ones we saw, that was like what Terrell already mentioned, the Dragon Marked for Death. I can't wait for that. That's like my type of game, the side-scrolling action kind of game. That looks really exciting. But my personal favorite, my number one, was Mulaka, this 3D like Breath of the Wild type square-like adventure game with I thought it was like a Native American. I didn't look at the character too much. Where he transforms into animals. He has all these attacks with this super crazy looking enemies. That game looked amazing. Like it looked super atmospheric. Like it has like this whole style to it. I can't wait for that one. That was definitely my favorite from what I've seen.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. Hopefully the Switch version can hold
Malarkey?
up. Something like that. McCall or
It's
something.
Mulaka. He said it right.
Mulaka, yeah.
Okay.
Fucking terrible, T.
They showed some PC footage in a live stream, and it is a cool looking game. So it'll be
That is one of the examples where I liked what T said earlier, where the indies and nindies, it's getting such a weird name by now, where you have games like some people don't even know what Steam, like you have like people calling, for example, like which when I started disagreeing with like a Platonic, like an indie, but yeah, but it's like for me, it lumps it together with these like one frame games, like these cheaply made games. There's so much work and love and everything we've seen that evening. You can't just limit it to like this shitty shit anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like cell phone games.
It
even,
looks
like,
amazing, the games we've seen that evening.
I know. Just
that's happening with cell phone games too. It's like, oh, that's a cell phone game. But yeah, 5 years ago, a cell phone game was pretty crap.
Yeah.
Some of these quote unquote cell phone games are actually really good quality wise, and you can't even like discredit those now. To the obviously it's still mostly trash. It's 90% trash, but there's a lot. There's still a lot of good games.
I wonder if like
developers that care.
Yeah.
Like that 9 Parchments game, if that said Blizzard on it and it was the exact same game,
yeah, exactly,
people would be like just screaming like excitement for it. But because it's an independent team made it, like it's somehow lessened. I don't know, but
like that Mulaka, if that could have set Nintendo, I would have believed it, and everybody would have believed that.
Yeah, and I mean, I actually think that aesthetic with that polygonal look looks better than the Luncheon world in Super Mario Odyssey. It's crazy. But so my highlights were games we already seen before, which SteamWorld Dig 2, the trailer, seeing the other worlds like beyond just the opening area, like wow, there's a lot of variety there, and I'm actually really looking forward to that, even though it comes out like 2 days before Samus Returns. It's like, god damn it, Nintendo. And like now I got 2 Metroidvania games coming out at the same time, but that looked great. 9 Parchments didn't get a lot of attention, but it looks great. But for me, like Hollow Knight, a game that's out on PC for like 6 months now, never heard of that, like instantly was like, oh, what is that? Like I still haven't watched any gameplay.
Just saying, that's going to be Metroidvania.
Is it?
Yeah.
It looks like, I love the art style. It's so good. And then, God, what was the last one that really caught my eye? I'm trying to think. Oh, the Floor Kids. I don't know what the gameplay is going to be like.
Oh,
but that
Floor
game,
Kids, I gotta forget.
That game looks so much style. Like I don't know how they captured that much. Like I don't know. In the animation, just like captured something for me. Like this personality of each one of these characters. It's so cool. I don't know if it's going to be a fun game to play, but it really stood out to me just from, the art style and the animation. So
I know all about that lifestyle as a dude who grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. He used to be in the corner with the cardboard box on the ground, breakdancing. I know what that's about. That took me right back there. It was gorgeous. It was amazing. And,
you were a floor kid?
I was a floor kid, man. I was a floor kid, and the music is amazing. The animation obviously is great. It's just hopefully the controls, how it plays is actually as cool as it all looks. But man, that it took me to a place. It was great.
So for me, like SteamWorld Dig 2 is a guaranteed purchase. That Hunt Down, if that pans out, like that looks like it's like Contra meets a completely different aesthetic, and then some other gameplay elements too, not just Contra, but very Contra like that. If that pans out, like that's
Contra Hardcore. Have you played that one, the Sega one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you haven't played Contra Hardcore?
I never even heard of it.
Oh my gosh. That yeah. Locked and loaded. Yeah, that's greatness.
So I'm looking forward to that. And there was one other that was looking like a pretty, like 9 Parchments. To me, it's got online play. It's Frozen Byte. They did Trine 1 and 2, which had good co-op online in the Wii U version. So I'm confident that'll work. That looks like it'd be a fun game with 3 of you guys like all playing together. Like I don't know if it's something I'd play much on my own.
Yeah. 9 Parchments?
Yeah, it looks like if you guys are getting it, I'm definitely going to get it, and I think it could be a fun little co-op game. So those were the highlights. Like I said, my juice opinions. I never played No More Heroes, so I'm not going to fake excitement, even though I think it's cool.
Come on, man, be a fraud.
Especially for the fans of the series, I'm excited for them, and I'm glad it's coming. Hopefully it turns out to be a great game, and it was a cool cinematic for sure. I love the art style. Whether that's any indication what the game will look like,
I think so, because if the original had that kind of comic book kind of animation style, and that was on Wii, and it looked really good. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the visual style.
It's Unreal Engine 4, so of course I'm excited. But yeah, so overall, I thought it was a cool showcase. There's like one game that looked really lame. The hide my mom hid my game or something. That's the only one.
It looked like a. It looked like
an indie game.
No, it looked like
game.
One of the little games that you find in
like.
Yeah. Wait, which one? Which one?
My mom hid my game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a WarioWare like mini game.
My mom hid my lame.
I will say though, like some of those games, like I said, Blizzard or Activision or somebody was publishing, like they'd get a lot more notoriety. Like some of these games look awesome. There was a quick shot of like a sword, like a fighter, a 2D fighter with two sword characters, almost like a Samurai Showdown. Then there was like a Smash Brothers type game they showed for a quick second.
That Advance Wars like game.
There's that Advance Wars, and there's another tactical like shooter, like third person with first person stuff.
There's a lot of good stuff, man.
And it's like, we saw an indie highlight reel earlier in the year, and only one or two of those games have come out. So you never know. Some of these games may never come out on the Switch, but it's exciting. And I was a little surprised that we haven't seen Yooka-Laylee. And I know they're not a Nindie because there's no special partnership with Nintendo. It's just that's what defines a Nindie, is it has some kind of special deal, whether it's Amiibo or coming out first.
We could have did an Amiibo. What the fuck?
Something, but nothing from that, nothing from Rhyme. So it was a little, even though we know the release date of Rhyme, we still haven't really seen it on the Switch. So.
No, we footage of it. Someone had footage of it recently.
Did they?
Yeah, Game Explain this saw had footage of it.
On the Switch?
On the Switch, yeah.
And Skyrim, I think again.
You gotta resubscribe, man.
Yeah, even though they're probably spoiled Mario+Rabbids.
Well, that's the thing. You gotta unsubscribe when you know a new game's coming out, and let that week go by, and then come back.
I wish they'd do a separate channel for their discussion videos, so I wouldn't even have to ever see that in the feed because they're so bad. But anyway, Robert, what was your takeaway from the Nindies showcase?
My takeaway is like, God damn it, another ton of space and more money is going to be thrown away from me. But I will say that there are definitely a good amount. I'm looking at their YouTube channel now. I want to get Super Meat Boy Forever. I definitely like the original Super Meat Boy. I never played this Forever one. I don't even know if it came out yet on other ones. But it looks good. Floor Kids, I definitely want to try out. Floor Kids. Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition. I like the art style. It might just be a slower game, and I think that'd be kind of fun to play something like that. There's also the Mulaka. I think Mulaka looks good. I do want to play that. It definitely looks good. I'm not too sure about Yono and the Celestial Elephants. I'm not too sure. I might look at it, but it's definitely weird. But I might want to check that one out. Definitely Morphe's Law. Morphe's Law looks really good, and it's super different.
It's a cool idea, but it's a little off-putting seeing those weird, like one huge leg, and like small head. Like
oh yeah, that's what I like about it. It's so red. And also, Away Journey to the Expected. That's what it's called. That looks good too. Yeah, I forgot about that. It was like a first person, but also like anime cutscenes or something like that. It was cool. I definitely want to check it out.
That's the one with the first person is like 2D kind of sprite. That looks awesome.
Yeah, that looked really good. That definitely looked really good. And I definitely before Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes comes out, I want to play the first two, and I'll definitely check out that one because everyone
hasn't played No More Heroes in this group.
I haven't played him, so I'm gonna definitely check him out before that one comes out. But that'll be a while anyway.
Anybody else?
I own both of them. I haven't started them yet.
Well, Rich,
I doubt Terrell's playing them either.
It
wasn't a big hit for sure.
I mean, Travis touchdown guy in there.
Yeah,
I've seen some game. No, actually, well, yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. That's it. I don't really know a ton about it, so
That's great.
Going in blind, but what I've heard about it sounds good.
You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun.
Do you think
Yeah,
when that comes out, they're gonna implement like Joy-Con motion control?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they said
It
that.
sounds like they would.
I mean, the difference is it's going to be optional this time because they have to cater to the fact that it's a handheld as well. So it's going to be, regular standard controls, but there also be the option to do motion stuff, which is Wii gamers are used to with the game. So
That's
cool.
the main reason I haven't started 1 or 2 yet, because
you
like
have no choice in the Wii version. You have to do motion. So,
but did you like the motion controls, T?
I loved it. They worked perfectly.
Okay.
I thought they worked great.
And it's pretty funny because I saw this one thing where it said like No More Heroes is oh yeah, isn't it like you gotta like
basically
like you're jerking,
you're basically yanking it.
And I saw somewhere where it said something like they're like, oh, a No More Heroes is a bloody mess or something like that, and all of a sudden they show like him lifting up a cat, and apparently that's a part of it. It's pretty funny.
It's hilarious.
It sounds like a very
it's really funny.
random game.
Yeah, it's very stylized. It's really funny. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie in a way, with like that pseudo humor. Well, actually, I mean that's you find that in Quentin Tarantino movies too. Like you find that kind of humor, like over the top stuff. Him and Rodriguez and stuff. So it's very much in that ilk of game. So it's fun, man. Like the second one is better because the first one has like an open world-ish kind of area where you go to different places, and like controlling his motorcycle isn't that great. Like the controls aren't that great, but it's still a lot of fun.
But yeah, it's definitely one I want to check out because everyone said it's so good, and one of these days I'll pick them up before that one to play them for sure.
Anybody see Nintendo or whatever trying to play Skyrim with the motion controls?
No.
It's so unresponsive. Either he's just the worst. I'll link you the video. Either
I was like, I might wanted to check it out like that.
He might just be the worst, but he's like trying, and then he starts to shake, and it's like it works like 1 out of every 4 tries.
No, I've heard nothing positive about the motion controls in Skyrim at all.
I wasn't expecting anything from
Really?
it.
From any reviews I've seen, trash. Everyone said it's bad.
Why waste your time doing it if you're not gonna?
I was actually going to use that anyway.
That would have been cool.
I was gonna actually do that.
I heard people say the bow controls are fine, but that's about it.
Because I wanted to try that. I think that would have been pretty cool.
Just add gyro aiming like Breath of the Wild. That's all you need.
Exactly.
Don't have the stupid waggle from Twilight Princess.
That's true.
But I will say I'm watching the Rhyme footage, and I mean it's off TV, but it looks really smooth. I'm seeing like no frame rate dips, and it's a solid looking game, so that's good to know.
But the game is trash because it's not a PS4 exclusive. Those dudes would be loving it, calling it like the next Flower or something.
I know.
If it wasn't, if it was.
What was that other one? Journey.
Journey, right?
Journey.
Like, those games are amazing.
I always thought it looked like a Wind Waker kind of clone from the art style, but they toned that down. It's way more. It's got more of a unique style than when they first showed it, I think. But it's just one of those things where it's probably too little, too late. I mean, yeah, they made sure looks like they made sure it was a good port. I mean, they're moving the camera, it seems very fluid, and it might just be too late because by the time November hits, there's just so many games for the Switch.
Yeah,
it's
some games are going to suffer because, like we talked about last week, freaking Rayman Legends needed to be out in like May, June. There's no reason that should be out in September instead of like Fire Emblem Warriors, and then a Pokemon fighting game that was on Wii U coming out.
What is this? The Wii U? The game was finished. Why are you putting it out in September?
Yeah, that's funny.
So there's just a lot of games coming out in the next couple months. And it's just going to be hard to. For me, I'm gonna have I'm skipping Fire Emblem Warriors for day one. Like that's going to be probably early next year type of game, and a lot of people are going to have to make choices. I think on which games to get. I know a lot of people are getting Mario Odyssey though. Like that's.
How about that?
Oh, for sure.
Isn't that a great problem to have again on this?
I know it is, but it's going to suck for the companies.
It's gonna suck for the companies.
Their games don't sell, and like, oh, we're done with the Switch, but Nintendo ain't done. That's all that matters, really, to me.
This stuff is not coming out all like they say it is, and especially indie games. You can't count on that. Where is the Pocket Fighter? Did we even see that at Nindies?
Pocket Rumble? No.
Yeah, Pocket Rumble, sorry.
What sucks
No,
is I
we
wanted
didn't.
to see more Runner 3, but they didn't show any Runner 3.
Yeah, they delayed that too.
Yeah, Runner 3 got
And it's
pushed.
delayed.
Yeah, Runner 3 got pushed. This is gonna happen with the Nindies, Indies, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of those games aren't gonna make it
They're
out.
not all squeezing out in the next couple months. You can forget about that.
What about Sonic Forces got a release date, I think, since the last podcast, or wasn't that announced?
And a
Yeah,
price, right?
Wasn't that like
$40,
yeah, and $40, which is so weird to me.
just scary.
Wasn't it November? I thought that was a November release.
Yeah, it is.
I think you're right. Yeah, November.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
the
is.
$40 price, like to me, that's like, because with the Best Buy discount, that's like 30 something, 32 bucks.
Hey, but guys, we're not talking about the most important game that comes out tomorrow. Knack 2.
Next,
really?
For
Yeah.
shizzle.
I walked into GameStop today and really looked at the release. They said, "Oh shit, that comes out tomorrow."
Knack 2, baby.
Nobody
Knack-
has said shit about that.
Shout
game.
out
Next
to,
to advertising, man. I'm sure it's gonna sell well in Europe, though.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Europe's gonna.
I still haven't even seen the trailer.
Yeah, I know, because the high quality, right?
That's gonna be the new bundle for the holiday, so that's gonna get like
Yeah.
4 million in sales just from being bundled.
Wow.
Like Uncharted. But shout outs to Ghost Robo for, I don't respect it, but for him, it got him where he wanted to be. He's getting all these free review copies and he's going to these events and stuff. But the dude's got a video with like exclamation points about playing Knack 2 tomorrow. And it's like, come on, dude.
Come on, you don't care about no
Juice, why you gonna get this man's like congratulations, but let me throw some shade at
You
you.
don't care.
Quit
That's
acting
the-
like you care about next.
to me, that's the
I
negative.
don't, but still.
To me, that'd be the negative of getting to that point, that size of a YouTuber, where you have to pretend to be excited for games that probably suck, because you got a free version to play. That's why I can't follow channels like that.
Let's be
No
honest.
loyalty.
You got to be honest, man.
There's no loyalty to, and you don't have to be just to one company. Because I could watch. There's a lot of people that I know, like Mr. T. All you guys have different councils, and you can still, make good videos. I can't support somebody that has to love everything because it just to me is.
But it just creates like fake hype. It's like, what is that?
You'll play it once and then you'll never see it on his channel.
You never see it.
It's like I don't care.
That's
If,
every game he plays, though. To be fair,
You'll see it on the shelf in the background and shit.
it's like I don't care if somebody gets paid to drink cola on this video if he wants to. If that makes him money, sure. But like don't swallow it when you want to spit it out. That's so wrong.
why did you do that? That was the weirdest analogy, man.
The ESRB rates this M for mature.
Stop.
So let's talk a little bit more about Skyrim. If you go check out that gameplay of him.
Where's it at?
It's Nintendo's channel. You'll find it in a quick search of Skyrim.
It's basically the way of Hado.
Basically. But just seeing like Game Explain, it's off screen, but it's docked. And there's nothing to do. Like they're playing it for 10 minutes and nothing happens. It's just like
I'm glad. Yeah, I know. Isn't that kind of Skyrim?
Welcome to the world of Elder
there's
Scrolls.
really
That's how-
that nothing to do.
It
with
takes a
the
while to
games.
get into those games.
Yeah, it's a slow burn.
But once it gets
fun.
going, it's awesome. Like once you start leveling up and you can take on dudes instead of having to run from everybody.
And later on in Skyrim, you're gonna fast travel a lot because
And fast traveling a lot, right.
Yeah.
It's a lot like, Breath of the Wild and a lot in that, kind of in that way.
Except for the
So-
combat looks completely.
Well, the combat is very PC. It's very
Yeah, but dual analogs, I can tell Andres or whoever's playing looking really struggling to aim. It's like it's hard to go back to dual analog aiming when you're so used to gyro for especially.
I have to admit that I'm a little worried about going back to Skyrim, especially after Breath of the Wild.
I still play it. Like I don't have those issues.
But I think I'll be fine. I mean, I really like the game.
I'm seeing some decent, like the daytime, the sunlight looks nice, but the trees look. It definitely.
Oh, it's an old game.
Yeah, it doesn't look anything to.
But it does look good. I mean, like
Yeah, but-
it compares with the what call it the remaster versions or whatever.
Mhm.
It's definitely closer to those than to like the.
That's true. It does
Xbox
look
360.
sharper than draw distance looks pretty good, but
And any this is why it bothers me, because any like Skyrim fan or person who's played it would know that right away. Like I knew that right away.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So a lot of
instantly.
these dudes are frauds when
On
they
the
talk
first
about.
screenshot,
Skyrim.
when you saw like the sky, you could instantly tell.
Yeah, you can instantly tell just looking at the sky. Like you can tell that's not the original version. So all these journalists going back and forth. Oh, I love Skyrim, but I don't know if this is the
Yeah.
bullshit. Don't trust them assholes. 'Cause if you played Skyrim, you can tell that this version is obviously better looking than the
Mhm.
original.
And we're talking. I mean, this is off-screen footage, so direct feed is going to look really nice, I'm sure,
Yeah.
compared to this. But yeah. Anything else? Any other news I'm forgetting about? Anything else happened in the last week or so? I feel like there was like a story or something.
well, technically on the apparently on the amiibos of Mario, the box art, they have like 3 new kingdoms.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
yeah, that
No, it
was.
looks like T was right about that one. Yeah. That's
So
I wasn't-
It's up
I
to
was-
10 kingdoms now.
I was slightly concerned. I wasn't like adamant that there wasn't going to be more, but I was like, if there isn't, that's kind of a bummer. But it's good to know. It's pretty much confirmed that there's definitely more.
And one of them's the Mushroom Kingdom. What does
I
that
think it
mean?
is, man.
The
Mario
actual
Sunshine.
mushroom-
This ain't Mario
Mhm.
Sunshine, man.
Yeah, because they've been working on this since early.
Right after 3D
Oh,
World,
it's
right?
early
Yeah.
2014, probably.
Yeah, so that's 3 years for them. They make magic happen in 2 years before, so it was going to be a full game. Because Super Mario 3D World, a lot of people don't give it credit for, but it actually has a ton of levels past.
Mhm.
Once you
It's
pass
fun, yeah.
once you beat like the Bowser, the supposed end world, then it opens up like 3 more. And even then, there's a secret 2 extra worlds compared to where the map shows in the beginning. The map shows like 4,
Mhm.
I believe 4 or 5, and then there's like 2 more. So that game actually had a ton of content. Like that had probably way more than I expected, and a little bit more than I was even thought it needed, because I was playing that game for like 60, 70 hours
Yeah.
before I finished everything. So, but that's good to know. I'm curious if they will show like another trailer showing these worlds, or are they going to keep something
hope not.
completely secret?
I still think there's more kingdoms too.
There's
I don't
more. I
think
think
that's
there's
it.
probably 12. My main reasoning for why I thought from the beginning there was always more worlds than what we were shown. Well, obviously there's like, oh, when Nintendo's not going to throw all the cards on the table for this new Mario game, one. But the main reason was there was no snow level, and there's no way in hell you're going to make a Super Mario 64 2, basically, a new Super Mario 64 type of game, and not have a snow level. No way. And apparently, what was one of them called?
An Ice Kingdom or something.
Ice Kingdom. Oh, how about that? So
what-
that was my main reason. I was like, there's no way that this is all the worlds.
I'm still more intrigued that people actually had the idea that there wouldn't be more. It's a Mario game. It's a massive Switch Mario game.
Yeah.
You're really thinking they're gonna keep it to like 3 fucking areas? Come on.
Yeah, did you see Game Explain? Like right after they did the huge analysis, they're like, well, we only see 5 worlds, basically
I think it
here.
was 4 when they did it. It was 4.
Yeah, it was like that. So that's probably all there is. And there's 4 of those rabbit creatures or whatever you got to fight. So that makes no, man, come on, no way. Like this is the stuff that frustrates me as a
To
Nintendo
me, it
fan.
was
It's like,
after E3, because they kept in the treehouse. They kept saying, "Well, this is just a small portion of this world. Like this world is huge. There's all these areas that open up." And I'm like, "Wow, if a world is that big." That's when I was like, maybe there is only 5, because if they kept saying how big each area is, and I'm like, if it's that big, it's going to be really hard for them to have a ton of them.
yeah, and then that makes sense. I completely understand that.
That's where I got.
My main thing was like, even with these worlds being big, there has to be a snow world. I don't give a shit. There has to be one. So that's why I kept holding on to that, because I was like, there's no way Nintendo's going to put this kind of game out for a Mario game and not have a snow level. That is like a staple.
Yeah,
Well, going all the way back to like the first Mario Brothers. It wasn't really snow. It was like you kind of slid a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's it. I mean, it's exciting, and even if they show a new trailer, at this point, it's gonna be hard not to watch it. But I'm gonna try really hard to not watch any more footage of that game. Period. Until I play.
I'm done.
Yeah.
It's
But-
actually pretty easy for me.
Yeah, you've already.
Saying shit, I don't follow them. Like I made the mistake of watching one video a couple of days ago. It was about Fire Emblem trailer or something. Now all this shit is in my recommended bullshit again. I see all this fucking Mario+Rabbids in the sidebar and shit. I don't want to see like the Mario stuff. Even this, I didn't look up the images. I'm not gonna look up any trailers. Like I just don't care. Like I want to, especially with Mario games, I want to like experience that.
This is probably the most gameplay I've seen of a Mario game before it came, 3D Mario game before it came out, and I feel kind of bad that I watched so much at E3, but I'm gonna try my hardest to not watch anymore. And if they have a new, I'm curious because what, September? It's like not even 2 months away.
It's
So
next month.
Well, we got to go through all of September and then almost
But
all of
I mean, it
October.
literally is next month. You know what I mean?
It's 2 months.
No, but like we're in September and next month
Yeah.
is October.
October 3rd or something. Come on.
It's isn't it October 27th?
27th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mario and Rabbids came out in August. No,
Yeah.
technically
So
it did.
either way, you guys think they'll put out another trailer, or do they need?
Yeah, I think so. Launch trailer.
they
They're gonna
will.
do a launch
I think there'll be
trailer.
No, they'll do a
trailer.
launch trailer, but I mean before that.
Maybe in
Yeah.
a direct if they have one.
They don't need to. Like, first
Yeah, I
of all, it's
don't-
Mario Odyssey. Everybody knows.
Yeah, I
You've
mean,
seen all the clicks on those damn videos already.
Mhm.
Millions. So,
tens of millions.
yeah.
First
You don't
one's
need it.
25 or something.
You know,
Yeah,
make
the
sure
first
Arms
one.
keeps getting sales. Keep putting out Arms videos and
Yeah.
stuff
Just
like
keep
that.
selling
Like,
Arms.
Mario
Where's that new fighter at? I'm waiting
like-
to play that game again. But everyone, it's like, it's crazy because when Splatoon came out, everyone was playing that, and then when Mario+Rabbids, everyone's playing that except for Shadow Fox playing
I
Street
was gonna
Fighter.
ask you, how was your friend list when that game came out? I was
It was
surprised.
split because of the Splatfest
Mhm.
on Saturday. It was pretty split, but now, earlier today and yesterday, or Sunday,
Mine was like 70-75% Mario+Rabbids,
yeah,
which
it
is
was.
pretty awesome. I think that's awesome because the game needs to do well.
hmm Yeah, but during the Splatfest, there was still a lot of people playing Splatoon, and like I said, Shadow Fox playing Super Street Fighter Ultra or whatever, Ultra Street Fighter 2. That's all he plays.
Just throwing shade at that man for no
Bro.
reason, man.
Play something else.
Come on, man.
He's fucking savage. Chill
Come
out,
on, man.
It's not 1993 anymore.
I want to turn off my
I
notifications.
I paid my money for the console. Let me play whatever game
I wish I
want.
could turn off notifications for individual people because every time I see that, I think to myself, man, dude,
It makes you sad inside.
you're playing that again. Still, like, there's all these other great games, but anyway,
Jesus.
and the Splatfest happened. It was the first time, including, obviously this is the third one, including the demo one. This is the first time I didn't play in a group. Like the demo and the last one, I played 100% of my matches with a team. And because this was kind of divisive, and I didn't see Terrell playing, so I didn't see anybody playing that I usually play with, so I just went solo.
Well, we weren't on the same team
We were on
anyway.
the same team, so it's just like
Yeah, I was
Team
playing.
Two.
I just wasn't on the.
I got that W. I was Team Flight, and
Eat a dick, Juice.
Robert,
Eat a dick.
you said that Pearl would never have a chance to have the popular vote, but it was almost split even. Technically, she didn't, but it was
Oh, they had
49.
to they had to throw her a bone.
She
you
didn't
know.
though.
But that was pretty close. Like,
No, close is not having it though. Pearl.
They
Pearl
have to do
was
some,
not
they do
getting-
some like Team Gold versus Team Silver. Everybody wants gold.
It's like what I say. Yeah,
I pick silver,
exactly.
seriously.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it was a high pick silver.
I don't like gold.
What? There's a new Splatfest.
But anyway,
No,
Um,
we got the McDonald's one that they did for Japan at least,
Oh,
which is
Team
like
$10 bill versus $1 bill.
No, it's like fucking French fries versus McNuggets. That's
that's
That's actually what it's called.
well,
Yeah.
I just know from the picture that's what it is. It's French
I'm
fries
passing
versus
on that
McNuggets.
one.
well,
I'm
it's
not,
just Japan.
I might get.
That's just Japan's, which is
I was
weird.
gonna say, I'm not doing any
Why would
corporate-
Japan get? Why would the Japan get the American chain restaurant themed Splatfest?
because they love
Trying to
McDonald's.
advertise it.
They love American stuff. They love McDonald's, apparently.
Yeah, well, from what I heard, McDonald's tastes better in Japan than it does in America.
Probably does.
Really?
Yeah,
I
they don't
need
have
to
the
go to
bullshit.
Japan.
I don't
Yeah,
even
it
eat
is.
it here. It's fucking dog food.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Their breakfast isn't bad though.
I like McChicken.
What kind of logic is that?
Well, there's
I
a
like
difference
it.
between putting egg and ham on a English muffin versus
Processed as egg that's just
supposed
plopped down.
hamburger. Doesn't even resemble a hamburger in any way, shape, or form, but taste wise.
They should have that a Splatfest. They should have the Splatfest tits versus ass.
Those eggs are like the
Well, all
ones
you
that,
need to do is put Xenoblade versus Arms, and there you go.
Mario,
those,
or Rabbids.
There you go.
Oh,
those eggs, man. They look like the ones
There you
that
go.
were in Batman versus Superman that he was cooking. Those fake ass eggs.
Oh yeah.
That shit ain't real, man. I ain't eating that shit.
That's what I'm saying. You gonna diss them for
Actually-
processed food, but the fucking eggs are just as processed as everything else.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I like them.
A microwave egg sandwich tastes way better than a microwave burger to me. So
Well, I don't like eggs to begin with, so I
It's
can't.
all
Plus-
dog food.
plus
like
in my
eggs.
area, we have an old school fast food joint who hasn't changed the way they make stuff since they opened in the 70s. It's a chain only to West Michigan called Mr. Quick's. It takes like 5 minutes to get your food. It's not fast, but they actually cook their burgers on flame. They have like a conveyor, one of those systems, like the metal conveyor, and it goes through in flames. Flame grills, like legit. They have a griddle where they actually cook stuff on.
Oh, that reminds me of Sonic.
And it's like,
Yeah.
we don't have a Sonic in my area, but it's
Yeah.
legit how fast, quote unquote, fast food used to be cooked, and they never changed. And it's like, I go there like almost every week. It's so
I'm
good.
just gonna throw this out here. You mentioned this specific ass place that like only really you can visit. 'Cause none of us
Sorry,
visit there.
bitches.
And then he's gonna sit there and brag, and I'm
Oh.
like, what do you want me to do, Juice? Do I need to fly over there and try the food? gonna send
You would
me
be enlightened to like find out what fast food probably used to taste like at McDonald's and Burger King. Like it's,
I would like to try it.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't want to have this
Back before it was
old man
10 billion
juice conversation.
served.
If you get it extended over, I'd love to try it.
it is. It's so good. It's for me, like I can't. There's no reason to have McDonald's or Burger King because I have this like
Oh,
old.
Burger King
school
sucks
place.
ass, dude. I fucking can't stand
That's
it.
What?
still- this-
Burger King's
anyway,
still-
Burger King is
Burger King
trash.
versus McDonald's.
Burger King is trash.
Burger King's better than
Burger
McDonald's,
King's
but
better than
Bullshit.
way better.
Bullshit.
Popeyes. Have you ever had Popeyes?
Except for
Yeah,
the
Popeyes
fries.
is good.
Burger King burger actually tastes like
I
some
love
damn
my
burgers.
fried chicken.
Instead of that
Popeyes is
processed
trash
shit.
too. We have another place that's exclusive to our area that cooks the best fried chicken.
Look, don't do this shit.
That's
Well, here's
like-
how you know. Here's how you know.
Man.
And this isn't, no offense, but they opened a Popeyes in an area where
Popeyes is trash.
fried chicken
What?
should succeed. And
Okay, Juice, we get it.
there's no cars ever there in the other place, Lee's famous recipe. It's a further drive. It's packed every time you go. It doesn't matter
Really?
what time of day. It's so good.
We're just,
Popeyes is
I wanna
cultural
try it.
processed trash.
It
No,
is.
but Popeyes is so
garbage.
good.
Popeyes is pretty
Greasy.
good. I probably would say Popeyes is the best out of the chicken restaurants you can go
That
to.
greasy ass shit.
That's what I think about. I go,
Oh no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'd probably say KFC's better. If I
You get chicken
Oh,
tenders and they're the
KFC,
size of my
yeah.
pinky.
You guys
no,
are shut down.
Popeyes is so good. We go, they just taste
This
so
fucking
good.
conversation.
This conversation is crazy.
Anyway, sorry
He-
guys.
He's the one that brought up the whole food garbage.
Don't eat any of that trash. It's all trash.
But
That's
Splatfest
right.
was fun. My team won. I got up to queen status with my
Queen
team
bitch.
girl, and it was a good time. But let's
I
let's
just
get
wanted
on
to say
out of
one
here.
thing about Splatfest quickly that made me really fucking salty. I hate it that this is the second Splatfest, and for the second time, they created a whole new fucking level for it. I mean, why aren't they adding that shit into the rotation?
They
The
should.
levels are so lacking.
I
Was
agree.
it a wait? I was curious because was that actually a whole new level, or did they
That
just?
was a
They
whole
just
new level.
Oh, did,
reconfigured
no. I mean, did they just remodel the old level?
It's
No,
the
it was
same-
new.
They use the same
Aesthetic.
aesthetics, and they're gonna make a new level out of that for every Splatfest.
I prefer
Well,
this. I prefer this one than the other one.
Well, if they did that, then it would be
Just put it
special.
in the game.
And we just got a new level like a week
Splatfest
ago.
wouldn't be special if they did that.
I played exactly one match on the new level,
Really?
It was in the
The
Splatfest.
Splatfest are special.
I turned it on 5 minutes to 4, and it switched at 4. That's the only one match I've played. And again, I played the shipyard one at least 6 times in a row at one point. It might have been more. And I'm just
I
like,
really like that one.
just fucking figure out how to make, because the Splatfest is different. Every match ends and it re-puts you in a different group every single time. Whereas you're playing Turf War, a couple people will drop out. It's the same group.
Yeah.
So it can kind of keep track. But with Splatfest, it's just different lobby every single match, and it's so the chances of, you know, they can't dictate, hey, Terminator Juice has played this map multiple times, but now I'm in a whole new lobby where somebody else might have been playing you know, the specific map, whatever it's called for the Splatfest, a bunch of times in a row, and was excited to play, you know, the shipyard. So it's just a problem. I don't know what the solution is, but it does get a little frustrating when you're playing a couple hours in a row and it's just like I'm playing the same level consistently. But overall, it was fun. You know, it's Splatfest. It's exciting. I'm up to level 24. I'm close to 25, but I was almost always the bottom 2 or 3 level. Everyone else was 25 to 45. Like I was almost the lowest every time. It was a surprise.
Like I feel like you play the game a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's people in the level 40s and shit. Like, what are you guys doing with your lives? How do you have this much time?
Yeah, why don't you go ask Ultra how that feels?
Jeez, Ultra is different. I can understand him. He's young.
Well, how's that
I
different?
mean, some of these dudes got wives and kids, and they got, you know, they're in their 40s.
Welcome to the Salty
Not
Spittoon,
only
everybody.
age-wise, but level-wise.
Welcome to the Salty Spittoon, everybody. I hope you enjoy your stay.
Yeah, I was just surprised how frequently I was in like the lowest, if not, I wasn't always the lowest, but I was like second lowest frequently. I was like, what the hell? Maybe is it because I'm 24 that it's putting me up higher? Is there no like level 10s, 9s like in this game anymore, or is it just not grouping?
No, I ran into a whole bunch of low level dudes, which is why I was pissed.
What a bunch of low levels.
I can say
like fucking like 9 and 5s and 4s and shit.
5s and 7s and shit.
I'm stationary on my nerves.
Anybody else notice that the charge shots are making a comeback? Like they're becoming very popular the last few times I played.
Yeah, because snipers suck ass. That's why.
And it's so frustrating because it's so hard to use. And then of course another problem is it'll group. Instead of separate, you got 2 chargers, we'll put 1 on each team. No, we'll put them, it's just going to be completely random. We'll have 2 chargers on 1 team and a roller, so you guys aren't going to win.
Well, no, it depends how good the player is. You could.
I mean, they can get kills, but for covering turf, it's
I'm more mad at the person at level 4 who picked the fucking charger and said, yeah, I'm totally going to beat in turf war. And you're just like, you're not even good with it.
I hate it when, like, you know, the map is about to end, maybe you're in the 20 seconds or something, and you can see the charger guy just still standing there. And like, it's close. Dude, it's close. Can you get your ass down here and cover some of this turf? He's still
just rapid fire this shit. Yeah.
It's just like, God damn, man.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, for the first time, I really noticed just a little hint of lag or latency because I was putting my cursor right on people, and I went through probably 5 different weapons because I'm like, this ain't working. 52 gal. I'm getting outdone with higher ground by an octo brush, and I'm right on the person. It's not even hitting them.
I think you slipping on that octo brush.
So
frustrating.
I had the high ground, you know, and it meant nothing. So I switched to the slosher for like the last 5-6 matches.
Fucking hate that thing.
And I went on a winning streak. And then I hit queen, you know, full rank, and I was like, well, I'll play one more. And freaking dominate. I had like 11 kills, 7 kills, 8 back-to-back 8 kills, and you know, getting 700-800 points with the slosher.
Nice.
And I was like, man, it's just because there's a little more forgiveness the hitbox with that because it's a wider, and a lot of times it's a one and 2 shot kill real quick, you know. So I don't know if anyone else. I got booted 3 times, and then 2 lobbies where it didn't fill the team got booted that way, and then I think 3 communication errors in my play session. That was the most. So I don't know if something was going on, but like for them to get that figured out before I start paying for online. So
Okay. It's like we're having this casual conversation about Splatoon. Yeah, you better get your shit together, Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. It is $20. You ain't getting my $20. You get your shit right.
It's just like it was this weird devolve, just this weird transition. Into,
it was just it made
get your
me.
shit together, Nintendo.
Yeah, it's like I don't mind when it's free. 3 communication errors in a 2-3 hour session, but
That's 3 too many. God damn it.
that's
I
the
did
most-
have one issue where it couldn't find enough people, so it had to go back. And then it says like we couldn't find enough people or some shit like that. Like we're going back to the lobby, and then it has a blinking A symbol because you have to press A. But it was actually fixed on that screen. I had to hard reset that shit.
Oh, really?
Damn.
I haven't had to do that since. God, I don't know if I've had to hard reset the system. I've had to close a few games. Like
I've never
close
did
the app.
that on Splatoon.
I had to hard reset on Zelda once.
I haven't done it on Zelda either. I've only done it on like indie games. That's the ones you use to catch me.
No, I haven't done it.
Where you
just
can't
once.
even get to the home menu, because I've always been able to get to the home menu.
Yeah, it was just like I had one game where it was just like sitting there buzzing.
Yeah. That's where that was the same for me. I went,
Yeah, you couldn't do anything with that shit.
oh no,
sucks.
no, that wasn't for Zelda. I'm sorry. No, that was for I was literally clicking the gallery for the cameras, like for the
Yeah, the gallery's
Oh.
frozen on me before, but
Yeah,
I had
it
to
was
switch on
once.
I switched on my SD card to fix that.
Yeah, I don't have. I
it
have
was
mine
on
on
the
internal.
pictures. I was looking at the pictures, and all of a sudden, it just. I think it froze or went is one or the other.
Do you have an
That's
external? Do you have a SD card in yours, Robert?
I don't know if I had it back then. I don't
Because
think.
I'm an internal. I've
I
never
buy them
seen.
cheap shits.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, mine's fixed when I got a new SD card, so I think it might. For me, at least, it was the SD card.
I think it was. I'm not sure. Again, it was months ago though, so I don't remember.
But I mean, it's a pretty reliable system so far. Like I haven't had
Oh, we're
haven't had
live.
a lot of haven't had a lot of issues other than my kickstand. Like it falls open now because I don't even use it that often. I don't
Really?
Yeah, like I pull it out of my case and the kickstand pops down. It's barely holding on. I'm like,
Wow, it shouldn't be doing that.
I'm gonna call Nintendo. It's like, yeah, this is unacceptable.
Sue them.
Reggie, give me a new kickstand.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on the kickstand end or the actual system where it clicks in, but it wore out on one of them. And
Wow.
I've only done tabletop maybe a couple dozen times total. It's
Every time I open that thing, I think I'm gonna break it. And every time I put the switch down, I feel like because of the weight, it's just gonna break through the kickstand anyway. It's such a shitty design, the kickstand.
yeah. Mine's actually tipped over a few times, like in that one video where they're demonstrating. Mine's done that more than once.
I'm having some problems with my Switch. Can I like to talk to Reggie Fils-Aimé.
No.
Please. Hello, it's Reggie from Nintendo.
I cannot come to the phone right now.
All right, well let's get on out of here. It was for some reason my air isn't kicking on and I don't have my fan in my room, so I'm freaking dying. So
I like how that's the reason.
I'm gonna have to end this. Like I'm dying, I'm overheating. So no final thoughts. We're just gonna wrap this up. Hey, I'm just gonna be truthful. I'm freaking sweating. So my fan's way too loud anyway. But yeah, good discussion, and we'll have some more big topics for next week because I don't even think we knew about the spotlight last week when we did the podcast. So
Yeah, not at the time.
let's have a direct on like Thursday. That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
All right, yeah, and I go watching Pamela Horton. So
Come the
Unforgiven.
fuck on, man.
Pamela Horn Dog.
Why didn't Unforgiven? Why didn't you tell me about her before? I seen you and
I know,
he
bro.
pointed out he was in the video, her video with the extreme, Dead or Alive Extreme, saying, "Where's the
Yeah.
Pamela Horton mouse pad?"
He was in that video. Yeah, I totally exposed him.
Yeah, that was a funny.
Y'all
That
dirty.
was a funny. That's a pretty good unboxing video. You should
Yeah,
check
that was
that
pretty
out.
cool. Yeah.
But anyway, that's gonna be it for us. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.